Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, good morning. It was a little foggy this morning as you were waking up, but it was so nice this morning.
It was very nice. So it wasn't as cold as it was yesterday or the day before. But yeah, I have no complaints about the weather.
And the good news is it's going to get even chillier, but take a look outside with live cam. Your temperatures are waking up this morning, still sitting in the 60s, but this morning what you can see off in the distance is a very thin layer of some fog. Now, the good news is that fog's already started to lift up across south central Texas. Now, really, the fog right now, most of it's going to be in the hill country or just to the east of us. 5 miles of visibility in Gonzales, 3 miles up in the hill country closer to Kerrville. But as that sun starts to rise, we're really going to see that sun attack that fog, and really the visibilities will continue to improve throughout the next few hours. But temperatures will continue to slowly increase. Today, our peak temperature is expected to be about 83 degrees. Still seeing those clear skies persist throughout most of the day, even getting close not only today, but also throughout the next few days of getting near record-breaking heat in November. Now, what we're watching is everyone's paying attention to the weekend, not only because it's the weekend, but also because there's a good cold front moving through. It's going to bring us some much cooler conditions. However, Sunday, our peak temperature is only expected to be about 68 degrees, but that is also going to give us some breezy conditions, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that possibility of some high fire danger. I'll talk about what's causing this cold front and go over the temperatures associated with it all coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Shelby. We kind of look forward to that cold front. Well, a lot of people here in San Antonio, I think. Let's go ahead and go outside with our TransGuide cameras. Again, the weather's pretty nice right now. And looking at your screen, doesn't seem to be any problems. However, on the TxDOT website, I want to let you know about a crash that happened at Loop 1604 at O'Connor Road westbound. So hopefully that is cleared by now and to allow drivers to get through that area. So just be aware of that. Well, today is a day for local families who have spent months demanding answers after a deadly flood this past summer. So back in June, 13 people were killed here in San Antonio after heavy rain turned areas into raging rivers. So months ago, city leaders here hired an engineering firm to investigate. And today, those results will be made public. So 11 people lost their lives along Vital Creek. 2 others were also killed along Leon Creek and Highway 90. The tragedy led to the passage of House Resolution 86 to honor all the victims. And today around 1 p.m., a hired engineering firm will release the findings on their investigation into June's flood. This will be done before city leaders in a special meeting. Now, KSAT 12 will be there. You can watch it any way you stream on KSAT Plus and KSAT.com, and of course, by the KSAT News app. Well, 2 parents blindsided after one of the suspects in their son's murder case walked free. So their son, Matthew Guerra, and his pregnant girlfriend, Savannah Soto, were murdered in 2023. So 3 suspects were arrested in connection to that 2023 triple murder. And that was Christopher Preciado, his father, Ramon Preciado, and his mother, Mierta Romanos. And yesterday, Romanos walked free. Romanos was charged with 2 different counts of tampering with evidence and 1 charge of abuse of a human corpse. The Bexar County District Attorney's Office dismissed these charges on the same day that the jury selection for the Romanos trial was set to start. Well, today we are moving on to day 19 in the trial of 3 former San Antonio police officers that were accused in the 2023 killing of Melissa Perez. So during the newest testimony, the defense calling another expert to the stand. So Thomas Majeka works for the Kendall County Sheriff's Office, and he is an expert in police tactics. During his testimony, he broke down different angles from body cam videos on the night of the shooting. He claims that Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos were justified in shooting Perez. If found guilty, all 3 face up to life in prison. So a reminder, we are live streaming this trial. The testimony is expected to continue later this morning. You can watch it live on all of our streaming platforms. Well, new details this morning involving the UPS plane that crashed in Louisville, Kentucky. According to the Associated Press, it was grounded in San Antonio recently for more than a month. Well, the plane was undergoing maintenance in San Antonio from September 3rd to October 18th. And our KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier called that UPS and emailed ST Engineering, which performs maintenance on planes at the San Antonio International Airport. We are still waiting to hear back, and at least 11 people were killed in that crash. Well, the city of San Antonio is trying to keep the rainbow crosswalks in the city's Pride District. It filed an exemption with TxDOT. KSAT got a copy of that request, and towards the beginning of October, Governor Greg Abbott sent a directive stating that intersections and crosswalks should not have political messages or artwork. The city is asking for clarity, though, saying that they would like to know what laws or regulations TxDOT is using to back up this new directive. And just announced earlier this morning, Nancy Pelosi, the first woman to lead the U.S. House, is stepping down after nearly 40 years representing San Francisco. She announced that she will not seek re-election. Pelosi promised to finish her final year and urged voters to keep fighting for American ideals. Her decision shakes up Washington and sets the stage for new leaders to step up in next year's elections. And also just into our newsroom, the Dallas Cowboys have announced that defensive end Marquan Nealand has passed away. He was 24 years old, and right now we do not know the cause of death. But once we have that information, we will update you on air and online. Well, this week marks 4 months of the historic Hill Country floods, and the efforts continue to find the bodies of 2 people still missing. That's Jeffrey Ramsey and Seal Stewart. So Texas Parks and Wildlife game wardens, including K-9 teams that walked miles, were among the first on the scene, and our Patty Santos checked in with them during their first post-flood training to see what's different.
Dustin Fleming. I'm a Texas game warden, and I'm a K-9 handler, and this is my partner Piper, and she's 3 years old.
On July 4th, Dustin Fleming and Piper were not far from Hunt.
Hit's very close to home, 21 miles away from Kerrville. I got the call early that morning, and we responded.
For 5 days, they did what they're trained to do, search for people trapped or lost.
It was the worst thing that we've ever seen.
Other game warden, canines, and handlers soon followed them.
We were there starting from the second day on through the 4th day. And as a live find dog,
there was a lot of debris fields, large debris fields, 20, 30 feet tall. She had to work kind of through all of that.
One section of the river, I think we covered about 8 miles of river.
There was hope of live finds early on. After a few days, that changed, and so did their assignment.
We all took a lot away from Kerrville.
At their most recent training, the dogs are focusing on learning a new skill, like pushing past a unique roadblock.
We want the dogs to know that even if water's barricading them from the target, which is a missing person, we want them to be able to cross it or learn how to find their way around it.
Getting in different training areas, maybe finding those areas where there are large debris piles, working through that, and creating a realistic environment to where those skill sets are applicable to the next tragic event that takes place in Texas.
Well, according to the American Cancer Society, an estimated 30,300 new cases of stomach cancer are expected to be diagnosed in the U.S. this year. So that figure accounts for approximately 1.5% of all new cancers diagnosed in the U.S. every year. So happening this weekend, an event to bring awareness and raise funds to fight stomach cancer, hosted by Debbie's Dream Foundation. And joining us this morning, we have Yolanda Pereira, the day one of the organizers of the event, and also a stomach cancer survivor, also with Kelly Brown. Thank you guys for joining us.
You're welcome.
Who's a Debbie's Dream advocate. So good morning, and thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Well, first of all, just tell everyone out there a little bit about yourselves and how stomach cancer has impacted your lives.
Sure. I was diagnosed in 2021, in the middle of the year, with stomach cancer. Kind of surprise to me. By the end of that year, in December, I had undergone chemo, radiation, and then my stomach was removed. And that time, my journey just started, right? And I became then an advocate, a mentor for Debbie's Dream Foundation, and we are passionate about sharing our story and making people aware of this horrible disease.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you're impacted as well. This event this weekend is hosted by Debbie's Dream Foundation. So how has the foundation helped you?
Originally, so my journey with this started in 2016 when I lost my sister to stomach cancer, and then I was diagnosed in 2018 and had a complete removal of my stomach, a total gastrectomy. So Debbie's Dream has helped me with being in a community of other people who understand what we're going through, and it's given me the ability and the voice to advocate and let people know about stomach cancer and stomach cancer awareness.
Correct.
Well, tell us about the event here locally, you know, and if this might impact somebody's family or somebody might be going through it, or just, you know, getting that, you know, scary diagnosis. How can people know, get to participate in the event?
I'm very excited about that. We do have a way to register. It's not too late to register to walk with a 5K run or a 1 mile walk, or just come and donate to get some raffle tickets, and we've got great prizes that we're giving away. Come join us for breakfast. We're giving coffee and sweet bread in the morning as early as 7:30 in the morning. But more importantly, we're going to have some vendors there, some companies there to talk to you about early detection for stomach cancer. In the case of Kelly, you know, what can we do to go out there if you have a gene that, you know, a genetic gene, how do you detect that? So we'll have some people there to educate us about stomach cancer, and then just come together as a community to help this cause. So join us.
And yeah, speaking of that, I mean, early detection is a big deal here. Can y'all, you know, tell us about that?
So with ours, stomach cancer is very hard to be early detected. So most of the time it's not caught until stage 3 or 4. And at that point you have a 5% survival rate, a 5-year survival rate at 5%. So as for early detection for us would be EGDs, which is the going down, looking at your stomach to see if there's any sort of tumors or anything like that. But with us, that's what the fight is about, to be able to have something for us to be early detected, since it's so hard to early detect at this point.
Right. If we could have a blood test, right, something as easy as that, a regular routine check, that would be awesome. And that's where our funding comes in, to give it to researchers to find that for us, to make it easier. But right now, as Kelly was saying, EGDs, you know, endoscopies is what we do.
Yeah, but it does make it a little more difficult, and both of you guys know firsthand how difficult that can be.
Correct, yeah.
So it would mean a lot to have more money.
Absolutely,
for
research. And that's what we do, is try and raise funds for that. We go to DC every year to talk to our lawmakers, to make sure that they keep us in mind when they're distributing those funds, to make sure that they know that, and I'm sure they know, right, cancer is important. We need to find a cure, not just for stomach cancer, but for all cancer.
Absolutely. Well, Yolanda and Kelly, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And
thank you.
We hope to see everybody out there. Again, the Gut Check for Stomach Cancer 5K happening Saturday, November 8th. It starts at 9 a.m. It's going to be at the Green Line Park. That address is on your screen, and you can sign up now through the QR code. There's also that on your screen, or you can check out our website for more information. Of course, that's KSAT.com. Well, how old were you when you bought your first home? So coming up after the break, we're going to tell you what the median age is now going for this time. You might be surprised by this. Plus, nearly 5 million food stamp recipients won't get benefits this November, why some families are missing out, and what it means for them. Welcome back. It's 9:15 now, and here's today's 9 at 9. So nearly 5 million food stamp recipients will not receive any benefits in November. The Department of Agriculture says that it would issue partial benefits this month. However, some families receiving assistance make too much money to receive these partial benefits. The U.S. Supreme Court weighing a major challenge to President Donald Trump's trade powers. The majority of justices sounded skeptical about whether President Donald Trump can unilaterally impose sweeping tariffs under an emergency law. So critics say that he has stretched that law too far, hurting small businesses. Now, President Trump argues that a ruling against him could devastate the U.S. economy. With the ongoing government shutdown, the Transportation Secretary is ordering a 10% cut in flights at 40 major airports over safety concerns. Airlines are scrambling to adjust schedules within just 36 hours, and experts say that hundreds, maybe thousands of flights could be canceled. Toyota recalling more than 1 million of its vehicles over a backup camera issue. So federal regulators say when in reverse, the cameras could show a blank or frozen image posing a crash risk. The recall covers more than 100 models and model years of Toyota, Lexus, and Subaru vehicles. The model years range from 2020 to 2023. The age of a first-time home buyer is the oldest it has ever been. So the median age now is 40 years old. The National Association of Realtors also say that the share of first-time buyers in the market has fallen to 21%. This is a record low. High mortgage rates and home prices continue to be barriers. From NBA titles to MVPs, Tim Duncan knows how to win. So a documentary about his life premiered at an Austin Film Festival and actually took home the Marquee Feature Audience Award. So the boy from St. Croix highlights Duncan's connection to his home island and how his upbringing shaped his dominant future. So 43% Gen Z say they prefer social media platforms and YouTube over old school television and paid streaming. That's according to Activate Consulting's Technology and Media Outlook 2026. Researchers say viewers spend more than 13 hours per day on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And with Halloween candy eaten and the costumes put away, Spirit Halloween stores are giving way to Spirit Christmas. So 5 locations are already open and 25 more are set to open in the next week. Well, the Mega Millions jackpot has now reached an estimated $843 million. That is the 8th largest jackpot in the history of the game. The next Mega Millions drawing is happening Friday, November 7th. So Friday's drawing is going to be the 38th since the last jackpot winner. And we have an ongoing, well, we call him a bookie. I don't know. He's coming, like, are you coming in the work pool? And like,
every day.
I'm afraid not to participate because, like, what if at that one time you don't participate, your whole newsroom wins and then you're here by yourself?
I mean, I'm not necessarily feeling lucky for the Mega Millions, but I am fully supporting the Spirit Christmas.
Oh, right. I was expecting to see like a ghost, you know, with a little Christmas hat, but no, it looks like the traditional Santa's on the screen there.
I mean, we can be feeling a little lucky. I mean, we had the clear skies yesterday, so we were able to see the beautiful Beaver Supermoon. This was the November full moon that happened last night. Yesterday was the peak, but some areas could already start to see it Tuesday night, and you might still be able to see it tonight. And we have so many KSAT Connect pictures and videos, and we thank them all for you, or thank you all for them, especially James Hamilton down near Harlandale for that picture. Now today we're still seeing those clear skies, so you might be able to see a small chance to see the Beaver Supermoon later today, but temperatures right now feeling very comfortable, sitting in the 60s, 66 degrees in San Antonio, 59 still as you get into areas of the hill country up in Kerrville. And throughout the next few hours, our temperatures are expected to continue to increase and already near 80 degrees by lunchtime. Now, typically you shouldn't really be seeing the temperatures in the 80s in November. 83 degrees is expected to be our peak temperature today. Still seeing those clear skies, already dipping down to the 70s once that sun really starts to set. And once that sun starts to set, those temperatures will continue to decrease. Now, what we're watching is, yes, our temperatures still staying fairly above average, almost 12 degrees above average throughout the next few days, near record-breaking heat tomorrow and on Saturday. But what we're watching is a cool front and a cold front, in fact, moving through this weekend, bringing our temperatures 20 degrees colder on Sunday and Monday, where our peak temperatures are going to be in the 60s. Now, here's what we're watching and here's what's causing it. We're tracking a low pressure system and a cold front moving through as we go into Saturday and into Sunday morning. And as we see that cold front move through, we're seeing all that cooler Canadian Arctic air move through and really allow to sit in portions of the country, bringing that northerly wind, bringing all that cooler air all the way down to Texas for most of the country. In fact, seeing that cooler air moving through on Sunday, and that cooler air is expected to really sit and linger as we go into Monday and really into Tuesday as well. Take a look at our morning temperatures. Yes, we're still going to be waking up in the 50s tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, but that cold front moves through Sunday. Now keep in mind that cooler air isn't really going to sit and really feel those cooler air Sunday morning, but what we're watching is Monday and Tuesday. we'll be waking up in the 30s. Now that's just our San Antonio temperature in the 30s. Now some areas in the hill country are typically a few degrees cooler, so they might be waking up in the 30s or even near freezing. So keep that in mind, especially because we're watching that potential for some fire danger as that cold front moves through, with wind gusts up to about 40 miles an hour. So we'll continue to keep you posted on the latest with the stronger winds. But Steph, look at those temperatures.
It's nice overall. I mean, I know we got some 80s here, like even 88 on Saturday, but after that, overall pretty good.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, we will take the Goldilocks weather for sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, stay with us here on GMSA at 9. Holiday travel is already here, but a government shutdown could mean longer delays at airports. What to do if your flight gets impacted and how to know your rights.
Passengers at airports across the country are dealing with delays and cancellations. The ongoing government shutdown is causing staffing shortages, and that's straining air travel.
We just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers.
All of this coming as millions of people are expected to fly ahead of a busy holiday season, which is why it's so important for passengers to understand their rights at the airport.
We've come a long way in the last couple of years for passengers to have rights.
Melanie Fish is a travel expert with Expedia. She recommends double checking your airline's policies, but there are certain rights every passenger has. Last year, the Department of Transportation launched a list of rules that protect passengers. Airlines must automatically issue a full refund if your flight is canceled or significantly changed. That means if your domestic flight is delayed by more than 3 hours and more than 6 hours for an international flight, you are entitled to a refund. If you're flying domestically, airlines must deliver your checked bag within 12 hours of arriving or reimburse you for any checked bag fees. If your flight is significantly delayed or canceled, you can ask the airline to give you a meal voucher or cover costs to stay at a hotel, but they're not required to do so. This is the DOT's website. It breaks down what major U.S. airlines will pay for during flight disruptions. Look for those green checks. To avoid travel headaches during the shutdown, Fish recommends this.
It's more important than ever to book that first flight of the day and a direct flight if you can.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Welcome back. It's 9:30, and for 3 nights we are taking you inside the Bexar County Criminal Investigations Lab and looking into the backlogs in all 3 of their divisions. So the backlog, meaning cases unworked after 30 days. Well, our Courtney Friedman told us about the firearms case backlog earlier this week, and this morning she is tackling backed up drug cases and explaining what the director has to do in order to bring those numbers down.
All the sludges, slimes, pills, powders, anything suspected of being a controlled substance is submitted to us for analysis.
Orrin Dim directs the Bexar County Criminal Investigation Lab, and his drug division has been on a roller coaster when it comes to backlogged cases. So let's zoom into this. We requested 5 full years of data. Like Dim said, 2021 and 2022 look really good, even bringing this backlog of 740 down to 0. But here is where it starts to spike big time. This is March of 2023. And the big question is, why? Part of the answer lies in this: marijuana.
Our caseload used to be about 10% marijuana. It's now about 40% that. And the analysis of marijuana and THC takes about 3 times longer than other drugs.
With other drugs like methamphetamine or cocaine, you just test whether or not it's present. But with THC, some levels are legal in Texas, so they have to see if it meets the threshold.
This month we got in a record 765 submissions for analysis. We go back in time a bit here, we were only getting in, 400 to 500 cases.
The backlog hit a peak of almost 4,600 cases in May of this year, so Dim turned to other crime labs for help.
So you had to outsource?
We had to.
And when was that?
So the contract was signed in April. The first cases went out in May.
Of
and
this
that's
year.
when you start to see this dramatic decline.
Yep.
2,445 cases. That's down from a high of about 4,500 cases 6 months ago. That's significant headway.
They've asked the county for more employees, and those positions were approved.
We are going to continue with the outsourcing right now to help get this backlog to 0. We got 2 positions this year. We're in the middle of recruitment. We'll get those up and trained.
What he wants the public to know is there are strict priorities for these drug seizure cases.
People in jail. That list has been maintained under 30 days through this whole process.
So no one's just sitting in jail waiting for you guys to do this
absolutely
work.
not.
Okay.
The next priority,
Cases that the DAs need a lab report to indict.
That would delay a case at the backlog if the DA is waiting for it.
Right.
So there are fewer of those cases.
Much fewer.
and soon, hopefully none. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Well, while the number of drug seizures seems to stay high, DIM tells us that testing out new technologies may help tackle cases faster. So the crime lab actually moves to a new facility in May, and more space is expected to help efficiency. So coming up tonight at 6, Courtney will be checking out the backlog at the DNA section of the crime lab. To see her previous story on the firearms case backlog, you can head over to our website at KSAT.com. Well, new details this morning about a longtime San Antonio police officer facing criminal charges. So he is accused of secretly tracking his estranged wife. So investigators say that's 24-year SAPD veteran Richard Boyle admitted to placing a tracking device on his ex-wife's car after she moved out earlier this year. He is now charged with unlawful installation of a tracking device and has been placed on administrative duty while the department conducts an internal investigation. So per KSAT Investigates count, Boyle is the 7th SAPD officer arrested this year. Well, KSAT has also learned that a former Balcones Heights lieutenant was arrested and booked earlier this week. Theodore Adetta is accused of tampering with evidence. And according to court documents that were obtained, Adetta is accused of destroying a suspected marijuana pipe to keep it from being used as evidence in a case. So he was released from the Bexar County Jail after being held on this charge. Adetta was a lieutenant with Balcones Heights Police since 2019 and left the department back in September. Well, in a statement from Balcones Heights PD, they said in part, quote, "We will continue to fully cooperate with all investigating and prosecuting authorities as the legal process moves forward. Out of respect for that process and the rights of all parties involved, we are unable to provide further specific details at this time." End quote.
Taking a look outside with live cam, it is a cool, beautiful, crisp 66 degrees in San Antonio right now. Seeing those clear skies. Now, if you have been loving the cooler temperatures the last week or so, well, I do have some good news. It's about to get a whole lot chillier throughout the next week or so. But today, we're actually seeing temperatures in the 80s, near 80 degrees already by lunchtime. Still seeing those drier conditions and those sunnier skies for most of us today across South Central Texas. 83 degrees in San Antonio. But near 90 degrees is expected as you head out west or even towards Carrizo Springs and Laredo, getting to 91 and 90 degrees. Now, if you love the heat, enjoy today. You're going to love this weekend, but what we're watching is a big cool down coming this weekend. Saturday, peak temperature about 88 degrees. We're watching that near record-breaking heat on Saturday. Our last record was 90 degrees set back in 1989, but then that cool front moves through Saturday night into Sunday, bringing temperatures down into the 60s. And not only that, that cool front is also expected to bring temperatures Tuesday morning in the 30s, and even having a possibility of seeing some areas get below freezing with your morning temperatures. I'll break down what's causing that cold front to move through, plus take a look at the latest drought monitor that was issued today, coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, it is nice outside now, and let's look out there with our TransGuide cameras, looking over at Loop 410 at Jackson Keller, where things are moving, and also looking pretty good here at I-35 at Pine. Not too much to look at the TxDOT website. Only some road debris out at I-10 at Houston Street. That happened about 9:30 this morning. So if you're at I-10 at Houston Street westbound, just be aware of that. There's a little holdup there, Loop 410 at Houston. Well, tens of thousands of Jeep plug-in hybrid SUVs are being recalled due to a potential fire risk. So Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep, says the issue has to do with potential battery failure in the vehicles. So far, there has been 19 reports of fires with 1 injury. So that recall covers certain model year 2020 to 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4XS, as well as 2022 to 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4XS, In total, more than 375,000 of the SUVs are under recall, with the bulk of those in the U.S. So several frozen food products are being recalled due to a potential allergy risk. So more than 4,000 chicken and beef croquettes under the brand name Saint Cochina are being pulled because they may contain sesame. So this may not have been a listed ingredient on that label for these products. While no illnesses have been reported, you should not eat the food if you have it, and you can return it and get your money back. Some Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars are also being recalled over allergy concerns. The recall here is for these dark chocolate mini ice cream bars that are sold in a 6-count package. So Haagen-Dazs' parent company, Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream, says the product may contain wheat, which is not disclosed on the packaging here. So they have a best by date of January 31st, 2027, and so far here, no illnesses have been reported. Well, happening today, if you are serving our country or working for the federal government, this drive-through event is for you. So Catholic Charities and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is hosting a food distribution for active duty military members and federal employees. This one is happening at the St. Stephen's Care Center. This is from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Supplies are limited, so make sure to bring your federal ID to receive a pre-packaged bag of food. And also, if you know a veteran or just want to show your support, Project Men is hosting a Salute to Our Veterans evening. So it is a special event to honor veterans, their families, and caregivers with resources made just for them. There's going to be live music from Pastores, some fun and games, prizes, and a lot of food as well. So this is happening from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's happening at Project Men, and again, it's all free and open to everyone. And here's a chance to give back here and represent your team. So every Thursday this month in November, you can donate blood with South Texas Blood and Tissue, and you can score a limited edition San Antonio Spurs t-shirt. So really it's a win-win. You show your Spurs pride while helping save lives in our community. So to join in, schedule your donation online at southtexasblood.org, or you can also call that number on your screen, 210-731-5590. Well, the time for now is 9:40. We're at 66 degrees for now, and you are watching GMSA at 9. So Texas homeowners, get ready for more property tax relief after the election. Our Myra Arthur is going to break down what's changing and how it could help you. Welcome back. It's 9:44. Well, this morning, more property tax relief is coming to Texas homeowners thanks to the election. Myra Arthur shows us what's changing.
Proposition 11 raises the school tax exemption for homeowners who are disabled or age 65 and older. It boosts that current exemption from $10,000 to $60,000. Texas voters passed it resoundingly.
That's going to provide an extra up to $500 of extra savings for them. Again, that would be increasing it from $10,000 to $60,000. So it's going to be substantial.
Prop 13 raises the school district property tax exemption for all Texas homeowners. So now it will increase from $100,000 to $140,000. That means that $140,000 of a home's value cannot be taxed. Another big hit with voters.
That'll be about a $400 savings.
For Texans who qualify for both exemptions, the property tax savings from these amendments add up.
Main thing to remember is if you get both of them passed and you're 65, you're going to have about a $900 savings in your property taxes.
It also means that for some homeowners,
if your home is valued at $200,000 or less, you will no longer pay any property school taxes.
And thank you to Myra Arthur for putting that together for us. Yeah, I'm excited about the weather so far, but we have to keep warning people. I'm worried about like visitors to San Antonio this weekend, you know, who are coming in. They're like, yeah, San Antonio is great this time of year. And like they have a beautiful Saturday and even kind of warm. And then Sunday morning, they're going to wake up, you know, or actually Monday morning, like what happened?
I feel like that is the go-to. Us Texans, we're always talking about the weather. If you don't like it, just wait a day, it'll change.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the perfect way to kind of For all the visitors, welcome. This is what we know and love about Texas. Now,
might see them buying jackets, right?
Yes. But with the cold front moving through, it's also a reminder that we had the Beaver Moon last night, the November supermoon. We had Jen Torres send this picture that her dad took of the supermoon out in Castroville. Now, traditionally, the Beaver Moon is called the Beaver Moon because traditionally in November, the beavers and all the animals are getting ready because it's starting to get a little chilly, so they have to get ready for winter. Now, winter is still a good ways away, but we're going to be feeling more like fall as we go into the weekend. We're expecting a strong cold front moving through that's bringing our temperatures, our peak temperatures, from the 80s to near 90s we're expecting this weekend to the 60s as we go into the weekend and even into next week. The lows aren't going to be in the 60s and 50s anymore. We're watching them in the 30s and even near 40 degrees, and it's going to be dry. Now, it is still going to be a little pleasant, but with those drier conditions, we're also expecting that chance for some fire danger, and I'll touch on that in just a second. But this cold front is going to all because bring in some of that cooler Canadian Arctic air. It's going to be arriving Saturday night, but really Sunday for most of us. Now, with this cold front moving through, it's not only going to affect us in San Antonio. As that cold front pushes through, all of that northerly wind that most of the country is going to see is going to allow some of that cooler Arctic Canadian air to really feed in behind it, making us in San Antonio really feel some of that cooler air, but also most of the country as that cooler air really is allowed to really sit in portions of the country Sunday into Monday into Tuesday. Tuesday morning temperatures I showed you earlier are expected to be near freezing or even below freezing as that cooler Arctic air is just really being allowed to sit and linger. But not only are we seeing those cooler temperatures because of this cold front, we're also seeing some stronger winds associated with it. And those stronger winds are going to give us a chance to really feed in some of that cooler air. We're waking up in the 30s on Monday and Tuesday. Still going to stay in the 80s as we head into the weekend. But like I mentioned, those winds bringing all that cooler air. We're seeing wind gusts up to about 40 to 45 miles an hour for those wind gusts on Sunday. Now with that, there is also that chance of some fire danger, especially because the wind speed itself is supposed to be about 20 miles an hour. That doesn't mean everyone is going to see that constant 20 mile an hours to even those 45 mile an hour gusts. That's just what we're expecting to be widespread, especially because we're seeing those drier conditions. This is the latest drought monitor as that was issued today. Now, last week, what we saw was the major difference in Medina County and Bexar County for that exceptional drought. Now just that extreme. But this is that 4 years of continual drought. It's been 1,500 days since we were all considered drought-free in South Central Texas. So we need the rain, and really most of the rain that's expected is going to stay either to the Gulf, really staying out of our area, or to the east and to the Pacific Northwest as they have an atmospheric river moving through. But for us in San Antonio, we're staying dry, and that cold front pushing through is really going to push all of that moisture associated with that fog we've been seeing the last few mornings today and even tomorrow really out of our area, which is going to be a good. We're not expecting some fog, but the good news is that cold front's going to be giving us those cooler temperatures. You're waking up Monday and Tuesday in the 30s. Yes, temperatures are possibly going to jump back up to the 70s and near 80 degrees by this time next week, but we can just enjoy the temperatures in the 30s and even 63 degrees being our peak temperature next week.
I mean, I like it all because it's not like, constantly 38 degrees or constantly 88 degrees. It's all over the place, and I love it. I'm prepared. All the jackets are out.
Weather roller coaster.
Yeah, I like it. We'll take the roller coaster for now. It's better than like constant heat.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Shelby. I think our friends at SA Live agree. The weather's been great.
Yes, I'm okay with the roller coaster too. I'm like, right, my son has a football game on Sunday. I'm excited about that weather for that. But I hope you guys are also excited with the weather change and the fall menu options. We're going to give you a taste of a hill country spot called Cypress Grill, guys. So we're going to show you what they brought today because it's a lot of delicious food here. But Chef Kevin's with me, and it's also National Nacho Day. What are you going to make for us today?
Today we're going to do some pan-seared tuna nachos, and yeah.
That sounds amazing, but I keep looking at this one ingredient and I can't figure out what it is. I'm going to guess, is it hot Cheetos?
It's not hot Cheetos. I'll give you a hint. It's not vegetables and it's not a fruit.
Okay, you guys got to stick around. We're going to find out together what this is. Also, they have a deal for SA Live viewers. Thank you, Chef. Now, Fiona is out at a new spot. I think she's got nachos, too. Hey, Fiona.
Well, we are here at Novo Brazil Brewing Company ahead of their grand opening, which is this Saturday. So this is your sneak peek at this amazing new place. We have got the drinks lined up, challenge accepted, and this is just a little bit of a sampling of the menu and the delicious food, and there's even more coming. We're going to introduce you to all that in just a few.
Okay, if you weren't hungry, you're hungry now. But guess what? It's also National Adopt a Senior Dog Month. So, of course, we brought a furry friend. We have the Humane Society here, and this is Dottie, our sweet little visitor, and we're going to help her get a forever home. And we're going to tell you what she likes, what she doesn't like, but also they have an event coming up. And you know, El Rey Fido, it is time. If you got a dog that's interested, we're going to tell you what you need to know. I know. You okay? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, we're going to get her adopted today. And if you have maybe a family heirloom or something that's just sitting at the house, we have a power couple, and they are known as furniture flippers. Okay, you're going to meet them, and they're going to show you how you can turn and restore those old furniture pieces, and they can help you. They also have a deal for SA Live viewers. Cleto Rodriguez, you know the name. He is a local comedian, and he's got a big show coming up. We're going to hear from him and Pilates. Yep, now we're going to go to exercising after all that food. Well, it's not just for the ladies. Our Jada Pickett takes us inside a Pilates studio, and guess what? She's putting the guys to work, and you're going to see all the benefits there for the guys as well. We've got that and much more coming up right here on SA Live.